Let's play Monopoly. Let's play Monopoly. Because y'all think that life is so hard, and y'all think that the man is just always trying to get you. And the man is actually telling you, the man, the white man, whoever you want to say, and I know they oppress people, but they actually, before they even oppress you, they actually tell you how to win at their game. That's part of that's part of their game, is they have to tell you how to win at their game. That's part of the rules of the game, right? So let me explain to y'all real life. Let me see. I think I might have to do. Let me see. Let me explain to y'all real life. My closet is a mess. Y'all looking in my closet? I might have to do it like this. Let me explain to y'all real life. And before we even get started, let me play this video. Let me find a video on how to play Monopoly. Mind you, I'm not the greatest card game or board game player. I'm not the greatest Monopoly board game player. But I know how to play Monopoly in real life. And it starts with land. Okay, now let's watch this video so you guys could at least have a little bit of how Monopoly is played. And then
how to play Monopoly. Learn how to dominate at Monopoly, a game in which each player attempts to become the wealthiest by buying, renting, and selling property. You will need 2 or more players, a table, a game board, chance cards, community chest cards, a banker, play money, 2 dice, markers, property title deeds, 32 houses, and 12 hotels. Step 1. Place the Monopoly board on a table with the game cards face down in their allotted spaces. Step 2. Select one player to be the banker. The banker will handle any play money not owned by the players and will initially distribute $1,500 in play money to each player. Step 3. Roll the dice and compare your scores with those of the other players. The player with the highest roll goes first. Play proceeds in a clockwise direction. Step 4. Place your marker in the corner of the board marked Go. When it is your turn, roll the dice and move your marker the corresponding number of board spaces. Step 5. Respond to your dice roll. Depending on where you land, you may be able to purchase property or build houses or hotels that will generate more income for you. If you land on someone else's property, you will have to pay rent to them. Other possibilities include having to pay taxes or going to jail. You may also have the option of taking a chance or community chest card. Step 6. Continue playing, responding to the game's cues until you run out of money or until the game is called because of time. The individual with the most money at the end of the game wins. Did you know? Although usually associated with the Great Depression, Monopoly was actually based on another game that was patented in 1904.
all right. Monopoly was associated with the Great Depression. So basically, people didn't comprehend how, you know, what kind of game life was. So they came out with Monopoly to show them what kind of game they playing. Okay? They tell you everything in these games, these video games, these movies. They tell you everything. Now, let's take it slow, and let's set up this game here. By the way, they have championship Monopoly games. Championship Monopoly games. All right. Let's.
Dr. Z! My daughter has sensitive skin. Same. Try using all free clear as part of your family's laundry routine.
If the player lands on a utility,
Let's take
property.
this slow.
Monopoly is a 2 to 8 player board game where players buy properties and try to.
Monopoly is a 2 to 8 player board game. All right. Now, I take that as 2 to 8 people competing at each other. I mean, most people would take that as 2 to 8 people competing with each other, but I really take that as 2 to 8 people can work together in group economics to buy property. Okay, now, y'all excuse my sexiness tonight. I got my sexy robe on. But anyhow, let's play a little Monopoly. Shall we? Ugh. Can y'all see that? And can y'all see this? Let me see if maybe I put this right here. And we're going to take it step by step. I'm going to narrate, co-narrate. Okay.
Get the other players to go bankrupt. To start the game, choose one player to be the banker.
Okay, let me start this.
The banker is responsible for. Monopoly is a 2 to 8 player board game where players buy properties and try to get the other players to go bankrupt. To start the game,
2 or 8 players, and you try to get all your other players to go bankrupt.
Choose one player to be the banker. The banker is responsible for changing out money, collecting bank fees, and distributing money for passing go. The banker gives $1,500 to each player that's made up of 2.
I keep telling y'all, it's cheap to get in the game. $1,500. They give y'all this money every year on y'all taxes, earned income credit taxes. They give y'all more than this every year. Okay? $1,500 is all it costs to start your life, to play Monopoly, however you want to say it. 1,500.
$500 to $100 to $50, 6 $20, 5 $10, 5 $5, and 5 $1. Place the chance and community chess cards face down on their spots in the middle of the board. Then, each player selects a token and places it on the go space. Each player rolls a pair of dice, and the player with the highest roll goes first.
Okay. They saying each player got to pick one of these, right? These represent to me your personality. Whatever your personality is, it doesn't matter. That's what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you it doesn't matter your personality, because that's all these represent to me. This is an ironing board, so this basically represents a stay-at-home mom, or what they call it, a homemaker. All right, so it doesn't matter your economic status. It doesn't matter your personality. Nothing matters. You get $1,500, and you choose your personality because that doesn't matter. I'm sorting out the money as we speak, and let the games begin.
On a player's turn, they roll the dice and move their token that number of spaces. If the player lands on a utility, property, or railroad, they may purchase the deed from the bank and collect the card for that property.
Okay. So in life, you roll the dices, right? That's true. You roll the dices, and hopefully you find a deal. Okay, that's what rolling the dices to me is. Okay, you out here looking for a deal. You're looking for property, right? If you find a property, you purchase it from the bank or the seller of the property. All right. So when they say rolling the dices, what they trying to say is, yeah, you're gonna come out here and you're gonna be looking for property. You might find a good deal, or you might find some scammers. You might find a bad deal. Things gonna happen. You just gotta roll the dices. All right. So that's what they're saying when they saying these dices. You rolling the dices because I'm out here all the time looking for property, and you know I've purchased a couple properties that I had to trade back in because remember I told you with the rent to own system you can trade the property back in if you decide you don't want that property, you want another property. Remember I told you that, right? So that's a great thing about rent to own property. Okay, when you rent to own a property, you're not so much rolling the dices as if you just straight up purchase the property and now you have to do all your due diligence within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. When you're doing rent-to-own financing, you pretty much have until you pay it off to do your due diligence, which could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, all the way up to about 10 years is about what they'll finance you land for. Okay, when I say property, I'm specifically talking about land because that's what monopoly is talking about when it says property. When you land on somebody's property, it's meaning when you land on somebody's land. Okay, so hopefully y'all following, and let me open this back up and y'all listening. Now, let's see now.
They may purchase the deed from the bank and collect the card for that property. If they land on a chance or community chess space, they draw a card from the corresponding pile and follow the instructions on the card. If a player can't afford or doesn't want a property, utility, or railroad, the property goes up for auction. During an auction, each
Okay. Do you want a property? Do you want a utility? Do you want to own a utility company like water company, a phone company, um, light company? Do any of this sound familiar? Any of this sound familiar? They own the water company, the phone company, the light company. They collecting money from y'all hand over fist every month. Any of this sound familiar? They trying to tell you. They trying to tell you.
player can bid to buy the property. Whoever bids the highest amount wins and gets the property. If a player lands on a property, utility, or railroad that's already owned by another player, they owe that player the rent price listed on the deed. Players can increase the rent owed on their properties by owning.
Okay. When you land on somebody's property, you gotta pay rent. You gotta pay your rent. Ain't no if, ands, or buts about it. You got to pay rent. All right? Man, some of y'all gonna get this and some of y'all won't. Let me clear my throat. Some of y'all gonna get this and some of y'all won't. Anytime you land on somebody's property, you got to pay rent. You got to pay rent. All right? I don't know how much clearer, simpler I can make that because that is real life. Whenever you on somebody's property, you got to pay rent. Let me tell you something. I was sleeping in my van and I was sleeping in a parking lot. I was like 20 something years old, I think 26 years old. And it was at the gym, LA Fitness gym. But the individual that cleaned the parking lot, he told me, "Hey, I see you've been sleeping out here at night. You can't do that. You cannot do that." Now I know what he was really trying to say. Hey, you grease my hand, I'll let you do what you want to do out here. But if you ain't gonna grease my hand, you can't be coming out here doing that. But I wasn't paying him no attention because there's plenty of parking lots to go sleep in. But that's the thing about it. If you want to keep being homeless and running around all over town trying to find somewhere to sleep for free, all you're doing is burning gas and stuff like that. That's all you're doing is burning gas. All right. And we don't want to be doing that. We want stability. We want somewhere that we can actually own and be. We want stability. All right. Y'all see all them homes, all these houses. These are houses. Okay. We trying to purchase these houses, and these are hotels. They're going to tell you need 4 houses to purchase 1 hotel. Okay. But you need the land first. All right. Y'all think this checkers. This is chess. Y'all think life is chess. Life is Monopoly. Life is Monopoly. Getting money, the getting money part of life is Monopoly.
Owed on their properties by owning a complete set of one color, called a monopoly, and buying houses and hotels on.
Okay. When you own a complete set of one color, all right, you got all the light blues, you got, oh, look, North Carolina, just so happened to say North Carolina. You got all the greens, you got all the reds. When you own all the same colors, when you own all the same businesses, when you own all the same of anything, that's called a monopoly. All right. Y'all trying to own a monopoly? Y'all trying to monopolize? Okay. Let's own a monopoly. Let's monopolize. All right.
Those properties. Whenever a player passes go, they collect $200 from the bank. Once a player is done with their turn, the player to their left.
That's another thing. Automatically, you get $1,500. Remember. Oh, let me turn the board around. Automatically, you get $1,500 to start your life. They didn't say you have to work for it, you have to earn it, anything. They give you $1,500. Now, does it sound familiar? Does it sound like the $1,400 stimulus checks they were giving y'all? Does this sound familiar? Does any of this sound familiar? Remember, they was giving y'all $1,400 stimulus checks, and to play Monopoly, you need $1,500 to start. Okay, and then as soon as you pass go, they're gonna give you another $200. They're gonna give you another $200. Does this sound familiar for some of y'all that be getting extra money every month, be getting food stamps, be getting Section 8, be getting extra little benefits? Okay, they're gonna get just to start, just to make an effort. Put it like this: just to make an effort, they're gonna give you $200. Let's call this $200 in food stamps. So, excuse me. So as you journeying, you could eat some food. You have food to eat. Okay.
Goes next. If a player rolls doubles, they roll again after their first turn is over. If a player rolls 3 doubles in a row, they go directly to the jail space on the board. Players may also be sent to jail by chance or community chess cards, or by landing on the go to jail space on the board.
Now, I call this life happening. Life happens. Sometimes you go to jail, and they're trying to tell you. Sometimes you might go to jail. These little things like going to jail, all these little things that they got in here, this is called life happening. I'm surprised they don't have a situation in here where your mom's sick and they're in the hospital, or somebody's sick, they're in the hospital. All these little things are called life happening. It's gonna happen. Life is going to happen. Okay? You have to have money set aside to go to jail. That's what they're trying to tell you, though. You have to have money set aside for if you go to jail. You got to have some fuck you money. Oh, God, be trying to not to cuss. You got to have some money that if you have an emergency or something comes up, you go to jail, boom, you could get yourself out of jail. And remember, they got a get out of jail free card. A lot of y'all been in jail, okay? And the judge is like, okay, I'm gonna look out for you this time, but this is a warning. Your first offense, whatever, whatever. All right? They give you chances. All right.
If a player ends up in jail, they can either pay $50 to get out at the beginning of their next turn, or they can try rolling doubles on their next turn to get out for free. If they don't get doubles, they have to wait until their next turn to try again. If 3 turns go by and they still don't get doubles, that player pays $50 and leaves jail. Players are allowed to trade properties with other players during their turn to try to build monopolies.
Okay, you heard what he just said? Players, let me rewind it. Players are allowed to switch cards with other players so you can build monopolies. And that's why I was saying, really, this game is trying to teach you how to work together. So if I have a green place and you have a pink place and you have another pink place, but then you have let me see. Well, let's say I have 2 browns. Let's say I have 2 browns and you have 2 pinks. You own Virginia Avenue and State Avenue, and I own Mediterranean Avenue and Balak Avenue, right? Okay, and then all of a sudden, I'm missing some cards here. So let's do this. Let's say this individual owns 2 pink cards and 1 brown card, and this individual owns a brown card. Or let's say what it is. This individual owns, let's do by color, a brown card and a green card. Okay, they can now trade or work together, right? So I could say, hey man, I'll give you my green card if you give me your brown card, so I could now have a monopoly. Okay? And then what's going to happen is somebody's going to come around and say, hey, I have a pink card. I'll give you my pink card and you give me a green card, and we'll each have our own monopolies. So you will own this block, I will own that block, and they will own that block. Okay? This is how they playing it. This is how they playing it. This is how they playing it. Okay? They just playing Monopoly. All right? While y'all sleep, they playing Monopoly. All right.
If they don't get doubles, they have to wait until their next turn to try again. If 3 turns go by and they still don't get doubles, that player pays $50 and leaves jail. Players are allowed to trade properties with other players during their turn to try to build monopolies. If a player can't afford to buy property or pay another player rent, they can mortgage their properties and collect the mortgage value from the. They have to wait until their next turn to try again. If 3 turns go by and they still don't get doubles, that player pays $50 and leaves jail. Players are allowed to trade properties with other players during their turn to try to build monopolies. If a player can't afford to buy a property or pay another player rent, they can mortgage their properties and collect the mortgage value from the bank. Players don't collect rent on mortgaged properties. If a player runs out of money at any point in the game, they lose.
Okay.
If they ran out of money by...
Okay. If a player have a property, they can mortgage their property and get money. But if a player don't have any money at all, no assets, I should say, they lose automatically. Let me rewind this. Oh my God.
If they don't get doubles, they have to wait until their next turn to try again. If 3 turns go by and they still don't get doubles, that player pays $50 and leaves jail. Players are allowed to trade properties with other players during their turn to try to build monopolies. If a player can't afford to buy a property or pay another player rent, they can mortgage their properties and collect the mortgage value from the bank.
Okay. If you owe another property rent, you can mortgage your property, right? You can sell your asset to pay off the other business individual that you owe rent to.
Players don't collect rent on mortgage properties. If a player runs out of money at any point in the game, they lose.
Oh, if a player runs out of money at any point in the game, they lose. Been there, done that. I'm not judging nobody. If you run out of money at any point during the game, you lose. All right. Really, what it's trying to tell you, if you run out of assets to sell for money at any point during the game, you lose.
If they ran out of money by landing on another player's space, all of their property and remaining money goes to that player. The game continues until only one person is left.
If you keep landing on people's property, meaning if you keep supporting other people and paying rent, if you keep going to Louis, Gucci, Versace, the hair and nail store, if you keep supporting every business but your own, but sitting still and minding your own business and letting people come to your business instead of you going to everybody else's business, you're gonna run out of money and you're gonna lose. That's what they're trying to tell you. That's why the Chinese don't support nobody but Chinese. Indians don't support nobody but Indians. I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about every Indian, every Asian. I'm talking about in general. All right?
If a player runs out of money at any point in the game, they lose. If they ran out of money by landing on another player's space, all of their property and remaining money goes to that player. The game continues until only one person is left in the game and wins.
All right. So, let me see if I could now do a little bit better demonstration. Do a little better demonstration here. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to show y'all a little something, something. Oh, here go the rest of the cards. All right. So, this is life. In life, you're going to pick your personality. This is probably my personality, this horse right here, because I'm Sagittarius anyway. That's a horse. You might be flashy. You need this little flashy car. All right. You might be crafty. You need this. Okay. You might be a pimp, a businessman, the top hat guy. Okay. Whatever this, you may be a fast individual. All right. Whatever these things represent, that's your personality, right? Wheelbarrow, I guess this means digging for gold and stuff. Whatever your personality, everybody starts here. Let me fix the camera. Everybody starts right here at the same starting point. It's not even a race. It's just everybody lined up at the same starting point. And it really doesn't matter who goes first. It really doesn't matter who goes first. It's just the dice is gonna be rolled and somebody's gonna go first. Okay? Now, the first individual rolls the dice and it says 8. So I move 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Vermont Avenue. All right. How much it costs to buy Vermont Avenue? $100. What? I'm gonna buy that mug. So I take my $100 and I pay for Vermont Avenue. Where is Vermont Avenue? I asked here we go. I asked the banker to give me Vermont Avenue. Vermont Avenue is an asset. Let's see. Let's read about this asset. This asset, the rent is $6. Whoever land on my asset, they gotta pay rent, interest, whatever you want to call it, of $6. Trying to focus it so y'all could see. All right, you gotta pay $6, and if I want to put a house on it, it's gonna cost me $30. If I want to put 2 houses, it's gonna cost me $90, or the second house. If I want to put 3 houses, $270, 4 houses, $400. A hotel gonna cost me $550. Mortgage value, if I want to mortgage one of the houses, I could get $50. Houses cost $50. Hotels $50 each plus 4 houses, whatever that says. Like I say, I'm not the best board game player. Some of y'all know how to play this board game better than me. All right. You get the idea. I just purchased the asset. This is my deed. This is my deed. I took this fiat currency and I traded it for this asset because I rolled the dice and I found a deal. I found a deal right here. I went driving for dollars, wholesaling, whatever. However, I found this deal. I went on Zillow, I went on Landwatch, I went on all these websites, and I rolled the dice and I found this deal. And they told me $100 and I brought the assets. Now, any one of you motherfuckers, because I already cussed, might as well keep cussing. Any one of you motherfuckers that land on my fucking property, you're gonna pay some Airbnb rent. You're gonna pay some Airbnb rent. All right. Now, the second individual, roll the dice. What's that? 6 plus 5 is 11. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That motherfucker almost went to jail. You landed on Charles Place. It costs $140. You want to buy that property? You better buy that motherfucker. Now in real life, I don't play Monopoly with people and they don't buy no properties. And you know what happens, right? It costs $140. So this individual need to take $140. Here go 100. Here go 2 20s. That's $140. And what's the name of this property? St. Charles Place. Let's see if we find St. Charles Place. It might not be in here. I bought this game at the thrift store. So that's why some of the pieces may be missing. If it's not here, I'm gonna have to look up what St. Charles Place is worth and stuff. Let's just say hypothetically this is St. Charles Place. So you trade this fiat currency or cryptocurrency, whatever, for this asset, this deed. This is the deed, okay? And on this deed, on this title, let's just say hypothetically deeds and titles told you how much you could charge for rent. Man, you could get $10 every time somebody land on your property. You could charge that mug $10 a night for rent. Airbnb, baby. This was Airbnb back in the days. Okay? Y'all get the idea. Now, at any point from what I comprehend during the game, because remember, you own these properties outright. Once you pay your $100, your $140, you own these properties outright, right? At any point during the game, you say, hey, I want to buy a house. You can purchase a house. And now this individual, they not only got to pay you $6, they got to pay you for the house too. So they got to pay you, how does this go again? I'm telling you, I'm not great at these board games. But anyhow, it's something to where they got to pay you the $6 plus, if I'm not mistaken, they got to pay you an additional money because you have a house on your property, or either because you have a house on your property, you just want to buy a house and put on your property. What you're doing by putting houses on your property, you're parking your money. You're also parking your money so that if you ever need to borrow money, you can go in your asset and borrow money. And then once you have 4 houses, a hotel is $50 each plus 4 houses. I'm just taking it as you could switch 4 houses for 1 hotel. Okay. And just by me not knowing exactly how to play the board game of Monopoly shows you, listen, guys, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. A lot of you think, oh, Dragon is smart. He's a smart guy. You know, he don't have dyslexia. He didn't grow up like I grew up. He don't have trauma in his life. He don't have this. He don't have that. He had a perfect life. Listen, whether or not that was my situation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anybody and everybody in real estate. Oh, here I found the rest of the cards. Here they go. Anybody and everybody will tell you in real estate, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They did not. Most people in real estate will tell you, man, I did not know what the fuck I was doing when I got into real estate. And they'll tell you they lost so much money their first few years in real estate, their first year, their first few deals in real estate. They'll tell you, if they're honest, they'll tell you they lost their ass. Some people go to jail with their first deals in real estate because they do stupid shit. They do stupid shit, and there was a girl. She was Airbnb-ing her apartment, and she went to jail because the individual got her to go off the platform, the Airbnb platform. And once she went off the Airbnb platform and started to collect the money directly from the guests, the guests turned into a tenant. Now they're a tenant, and now she has to evict. But between the time she evicts and the time they leave, it could be a whole year, 6 months, 3 months. Meanwhile, you got this individual living in your property, not paying no rent, no Airbnb fee, and you know, and that's what's going on. Anyhow, she took it upon herself to go over there, bring a gun, try to scare them, all this type of stuff. She said she wasn't trying to do none of that. She just brought her gun to protect herself in case they got violent. But all they did was say they felt threatened. She was black, they were white, you know, so-called black, so-called white, and she went to jail. She went to jail. Okay. And I keep telling y'all, man, you have to know these things will happen. Things happen. Just like when you on your job, you're just above broke. You still taking a risk. When you're on your job, you still have a liability. You still taking a risk. So I don't want no property. I don't want no tenants fucking with my shit, fucking up my house. I don't want to deal with that. I just want to work and collect my check and go home. That's your prerogative, right? Ain't nobody telling you you have to be in business and have your own business, right? But if you want to stop complaining, bitching, and all that type of stuff, you need to play Monopoly. You need to play Monopoly. It's simple as that, people. It don't matter your personality. See all these different personalities over here? This would be me, the horse, right? Because I'm strong like a horse, right? Um, you got the homemaker, you got the top hat guy, business guy, you got the speedster, I guess that's the shoes. You got the fancy guy, I guess that's the car. You got a crafty individual, I guess that's this here. You got a sailor, you got somebody investor, this probably an investor. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, right? My life path number is 8. How ironic. Okay? You have everything here that represents life. Okay? You got 8 individuals. You roll the dice in life. You have hotels you could purchase. You have houses you could purchase. And I'm gonna do another videos like this because I'm gonna find another Monopoly video. And matter of fact, let me see if I could find it now. And I'm just gonna let it play. So now you guys have a better idea of how Monopoly is. Look at all these houses. Look at all these houses you could buy. And I keep telling y'all, once you buy your land, you can then, people think, oh, I don't want no land because I can't afford to put no house on it. That's a lie. Once you purchase your land, okay, you pay it off. You can then leverage your land. Okay, leverage your land to a bank, to a private investor, to a lot of companies and individuals, right? And tell them, hey, I want to build a house on this land. They will give you the money. It doesn't matter your income. It doesn't matter if you have a job or not. They know it's an asset. A house is an asset. Okay, that if it's gonna make money for them, they are going to do it. Okay. Now, um, if at any time you don't pay them back for the loan that they gave you, they're just gonna take the house and the land. It's that simple. They're gonna take the house and the land. So your best bet is to put the house on it and sell the house and the land. Okay. And now you have enough money to go buy another piece of land, build another house. Or if you're smart like me, you buy enough land that you could put 10, 12 houses on. And every time you put a house, you just survey out that a little piece of land with the house, and that's all they get. Now you build another house next door. Okay? Because remember now, and they're telling you in Monopoly, and this is true life, you can put about 4 houses on an acre. In Florida, you could put 12 houses on an acre. In Arizona, it's, I think, 1 house every 4 acres, depending on where you at. Depending on where you at, okay? In Florida, you could put 4 houses on 1 acre. That means if you own an acre of land in Florida right now, depending on what city, you could even get stuff rezoned. You could put 4 houses, leverage the land. Your property might be worth 100,000. You like, I can't put 12 houses on this land with 100,000. No, you're gonna leverage the land, borrow 70,000, put you a house on there, because that's what they're gonna give you is about 70% of the value. Put you a house on there, Once you put the house on there, you survey out part of the land, you divide the land into 12, you sell the individual the land with the house for 200,000. Okay? Now you have whatever that land was worth once you divide it by 12, whatever you put into building that house, which is let's say it's gonna be like because we said we put 70,000 in the house, and let's say you purchased the whole acre for 30,000, right? So 30,000 divided by 12 is whatever. Let's say it's I don't know what the hell it is, but let's just say, well, let me do the math. I don't want to sound too stupid on here. What is what is 30,000 divided by 12?
30,000 divided by 12 is 2,500.
Okay, so the land is 2,500 and the house is 70,000, so that's 77,500. You're gonna sell that property for 120,000, 150,000, 200,000, whatever the market value is. Okay, now you have an extra 50,000 to 130, almost 130,000, and you could go buy another piece of land. Okay, or you can now build your own house on the next uh part of your land, because remember, you're putting 12 houses on that land. Okay, and this is what these subdivisions do. You come in, you pick which lot you want, they have the house models, you pick which house you want, you go get the bank loan, then the bank pay them. Matter of fact, you as a developer, because that's what you would be considered now, you don't even have to go leverage your land to build a first house. You could just say, hey, I got this land. You could go to a builder and say, hey, can y'all put some models on my property, because I'm gonna work with you guys to develop my property, and I'm gonna put up my land, and you guys are gonna put up your houses, and when they sell, we'll split the profit 50-50 or 60-40, however it goes. And that's how it goes. The landowner gets in bed with the builder, with the house builder. Okay? You have a lot of you have Toll Brothers, you have a lot of builders out here that will work with you like that. Anyhow, I'm not gonna make this video too long. Some of y'all gonna get it and some of y'all won't. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Hopefully most of y'all got it, but I know some of y'all won't. All right? Peace. Let me see. Oh, no questions. All right, peace.